Bismillah والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Today we are going to start Unit 1 with Lesson 1. Listen and discuss. Read the text and underline the words or phrases that provide facts and or opinions. What do you think? Collaborative learning promotes teamwork in class. Learners work together in small or large teams. However, it is not always easy for individuals to work effectively with others. Some learners prefer to work on their own first, then share ideas and information. Others are reluctant to share because they want to impress the teacher with their performance. Negative competition in class tends to prevent students from working together, as they feel that they need to keep what they know to themselves in order to gain credit against everyone else in class. The idea here, as you see, is working through teamworks. The idea of working in a team. I think it's better to work in a team than to work individually, because working in a team will give you the opportunity to ask for information that you don't know, to know more things from other people, to get help from them. So it will be good to work in a team. It's also good for you to give your information, your experience, and help people who are beginners, who don't know things about this work, so you can be helpful. You can be more active, you can participate more, you can be more helpful, and so on. And this will make a good atmosphere among the members of this team. This atmosphere will make friendships, maybe, will make good relations. The second point that we are talking about here today is who are they? We will start with this question. Who are they? How do you feel about them? We are going to know a kind of people. They are among us in our society. But the idea here is that these people, we can call them self-made people. Okay? We are going to read and discuss who are they. What do people mean when they say that someone is self-made? They usually refer to success stories of individuals who have been able to recognize and utilize opportunities in their lives for the purposes of improving their personal living standards, gaining respect in their community, and helping others. Can you think of successful self-made people in your country? Who are they? How do you feel about them? The idea here, as we said before, we are going to talk about self-made people. Self-made people are people who were in a bad conditions of life, who were, for example, poor, who were weak, who were in bad conditions, but they struggled, they worked hard to improve their standards or their living personal living standards. يطوروا حياتهم. They make benefit of opportunities in their lives. استفادوا من الفرص in their lives. They worked hard. عملوا بجد to made themselves. ليبنوا أنفسهم. These people are self-made. These people are, we call them in our society, نسميهم كده ناس عصاميين. self-made نقول عليها عصامي. who built himself by himself. Okay, without any help from anyone. Okay, I think we have a lot of self-made people among us in our society. We can name some of them. Okay, I'll give you few minutes to give me examples of self-made people in our society, and they are many. The third idea here is, would you take a course on future studies? Future studies means studies about what will happen or can happen in the future. These studies depend on studying the past first, then the present, and then predict what will happen in the future. We are going to read and then discuss. Have you heard of the terms future studies or strategic foresight? Future studies is an interdisciplinary field that studies and analyzes current and past changes with respect to tomorrow. For example, many people believe that the Earth's ecosystem will collapse in the near future, while others believe that it will survive. A foresight approach would analyze and highlight the assumptions underpinning such views. Would you choose to take a course on future studies at university? Okay, here we are going to discuss this idea. We are going to study the past, then the present, and after that, or depending on that, we can predict what will happen in the future. He gave us here an example of the collapsing of the Earth's ecosystem. We have two groups. The first group predict that the Earth's ecosystem will collapse, and they have their own reasons. They have their own thinking about this point. While the second group predict that the ecosystem of the Earth will survive. Also, they have their own thinking, their own reasons, and their own studies. Okay, so I think it's a good idea to study the future. You can analyze what happened in the past and what is happening now in the present, and depending on that, you can predict what will happen in the future. Okay, so we talked today about 3 ideas. The first one is working through a team or teamwork, and we know why it's useful to work in a team. The second one, we know what do other people mean by self-made people or self-made persons. Persons or people who can or who built themselves by themselves without any help, who have poor conditions or poor or hard living standards, but they improve their lives. They utilize the opportunities they had in their life to make a better life for themselves. Okay, and the third idea here is the future studies. We study the past and the present, and depending on these studies, we can predict what will happen in the future. I think it's a good idea. We may avoid a lot of bad things in the future if we have these studies, depending on what happened in the past and in the future. Thank you, and